Hey everyone, Ryan here with Suzanne from the LivePlayWNC Real Estate Team. If you're thinking about moving to West North Carolina, maybe you're eyeing retirement in the mountains, or you're ready for a fresh start in Hendersonville, we've got some really exciting news for you. Fall isn't just when the leaves change here, and they're doing that right now. It's when the real estate market shifts in your favor.
And we're not just saying that because we're biased and all about fall in the mountains, but the data backs it up. In fact, September here in Henderson County, we saw some incredible numbers that most buyers don't really know about. So stick around. We're going to walk you through exactly why this season is your secret weapon for finding the perfect mountain home. We are a real estate team proudly serving the upstate of South Carolina and Western North Carolina from Greenville to Asheville and everywhere in between.
We have helped buyers relocate from all over the country to our scenic and friendly towns and cities. Now, let's dive back into this topic. Let's start with the numbers because they tell the whole story. This September in Henderson County, we had 241 new listings hit the market, and that's about a 16% increase from last year. Now, a lot of people think inventory drives up in the fall, but that's actually a myth here. Homes that didn't sell in the summer are still out there, and sellers are getting more realistic about pricing.
Here's the really big one. Median home prices dropped to $420,000 this September, down from about $467,000 last year. So that's a 10.2% decrease. And in our area, in Hendersonville, Flat Rock, Laurel Park, Horseshoe, Mills River, those savings really do add up. So we're talking about tens of thousands of dollars on a typical home purchase.
But there's more. Pending sales jumped about 64% from last September. So that tells me something really important, that smart buyers are already moving. They know something. We've got 824 homes for sale right now in the county, which means months of inventory, sitting about a 5-month supply. So you've got options that we haven't really seen in about 6 years.
And here's what excites me most as the local agent. Homes are staying on the market a little longer, 63 days or so on average versus 47 last year, which means sellers who list now are serious. They're not just testing the market. They want to move. That flexibility really translates into some better negotiation for you.
So let's talk about what happens psychologically in the fall. Spring and early summer, that's when every family with kind of school-age kids is house hunting. Everyone's on vacation, the weather's perfect, listings are packed. But by September, the summer rush is kind of over. Everybody that has kids, they're back in school, vacations are done, and a lot of casual browsers in the market have really stepped back.
Yeah, and what that means is really fewer competing offers on homes that you love. So in the spring, we'd write an offer, and maybe within 48 hours, there are 3 other offers on that same house. But in the fall, you get a little bit of breathing room. You can actually think about your decision. You can do a full inspection without feeling pressured to waive any contingencies, and gives you a little more negotiation room from a position of strength.
And the sellers who are still listing right now, they're not playing games. They've usually got a real life reason that they're selling. So something like a job transfer, family relocation, or some other deadline that they really need to hit. And these aren't speculative listings. That means they're often more willing to negotiate a price, closing cost repairs, or even move-in timelines too. Now, here's something most agents don't talk about, and that is fall isn't just a season, it is the season here. The Blue Ridge, Pisgah Forest, DuPont Forest, everything is lit on fire with color right now. And that sounds aesthetic, but it's actually strategically important for evaluating a home.
And when you're touring a home in October against that backdrop of reds, gold, and oranges, you're seeing that property the way it actually looks for those 3 months out of the year. You're not seeing it in dead summer heat or the winter gray. You're seeing the real soul of that mountain property.
But there's more to it than just Instagram kind of photos. Fall lets you see things you can't see in spring. The leaves are coming off the trees. Right outside our door, we have a ton of pine cones falling down right now, hitting our cars. You get to see a little bit more about roof conditions. They become a little bit clearer, how the light hits differently in these months. You get to see how water moves off the property after a rain. We already talked about that, the tree coverage, how it, affects you when the leaves are actually off the trees, that sort of thing.
And here's what a lot of out-of-state buyers don't realize. Mountain homes have specific needs. So roof maintenance, gutter cleaning, water management, it all matters more here than in the flatlands. By touring in the fall, you'll see some wear and tear that maybe summer might hide, kind of like the home is showing you its true condition.
And these are all things that we help point out when we go on any kind of tour, looking at a home, but obviously you would want to do your thorough inspections after that as well.
Let's talk about money in a different way. If you close on your new home before December 31st, here's what happens. You can deduct mortgage interest, property taxes, prepaid points on this year's tax return. That means even though you might own the home for just 2 or 3 months in 2025, you'll still get a full deduction.
And for a lot of our retirees coming down from the Northeast or relocating from other states, that can be significant. You might be looking at a substantial tax benefit in early 2026. Plus, you go into that year with clarity about your housing situation, what your new property taxes look like, and all the other costs associated with it. And that's a little bit of peace of mind for you.
Fall gives you the security of being done and settled in your new mountain home before the holidays.
Now, we could talk about fall in Charlotte or Raleigh, but here's why Western North Carolina is different. This area has seasonal rhythms that other markets just don't have. Our tourism kind of peaks in the summer and definitely going into the fall with the leaf peepers. We're seeing increased traffic on the Blue Ridge Parkway. We were just up there 2 times this past week. But by late September, October, a lot of that seasonal demand is starting to cool down.
And a lot of our clients are coming from maybe more expensive cost of living areas. So New York, California, upper Midwest. They're amazed at really what their money can buy here and the quality of life that they can gain.
And that really translates into the taxation differences, even more so than the actual price of the real estate for most people. And locally, contractor availability is huge if you need to do any improvements. In the summer, every kind of roofer, plumber, HVAC person is kind of booked at least a few weeks, if not months out. By fall, they start to become a little more accessible. So you don't have to wait until spring to get those kind of improvements made.
And here's a fun fact. We've had multiple clients close on homes on Halloween over the years. I'm not really sure why that has happened, but it just has worked out that way. But there's something magical about closing on your dream home while the mountains are still in full fall color and the season is still celebrating. I always tell people, if you're thinking of fall, you might as well embrace it.
They didn't have to dress up for the Halloween costume, though, to close.
So,
Just want to make that point. For those of you who are retirement focused, and we talk to a lot of people in that situation, fall is particularly smart. You're shopping with other people who are really intentional about moving to this area, and the pace is a bit calmer. You have a little bit more time to think and react, and the market feels less kind of frenzied as other times of the year.
and it's just nice to be able to be in your new home and maybe having friends and family come visit that new space and just be settled in before the holidays.
Plus, you've got time to know the neighborhood before you get into the full swing of everything. And you can start to join local clubs, find your favorite coffee shop, your grocery store that's your go-to,
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. And that transition time really matters more when you do this relocation. Now, we wouldn't be good local agents if we didn't tell you some real challenges. And in the fall, the daylight just is shorter. It's just a fact of life. And so your windows to actually see properties is going to be fewer. Your showings might be in less than ideal light because obviously we're in the mountains. So the shadow of the mountains can highly impact that as well. Even when we were driving in the parkway this past week, we commented like, wow, it's already looking dark here. It's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Rain may be a little more common during this season too. So it's just something that you need to be aware of as you're looking to purchase through this time.
And here's how we handle those challenges. So we're always going to recommend that you do a full home inspection to help identify any of those potential problems. You can always schedule your showings to be earlier in the day when you have better light, and same things for some of those inspections. So you're just going to have to shift your time a little bit earlier in the day.
Now realize that there are fewer net new listings generally in the fall than in the spring and the summer months.
Yeah, and we know Henderson County. So we know which neighborhoods get more sun exposure, maybe which ones have bad drainage, which have better views, maybe quieter streets, depending on whatever you're looking for. And we know that that local expertise is really valuable when you're making a decision that's important and relocating to somewhere new.
Okay, so you're thinking fall. Here's exactly what to do. The first thing you need to do is get pre-approved for financing. Every kind of process starts with that if you're using any kind of loan product. Don't wait for a listing to hit the market. You need to have all that financing set up ahead of time in the pre-approval, as it's called. Then you want to secondly set up hyperlocal alerts for the areas that you're targeting. That way, the minute new listing hits, you'll know immediately.
And then when those alerts come through, reach out to us. We can help give you a personalized tour of those neighborhoods. We can talk to you about some of those seasonal rhythms and help you understand what to look for in that next home.
If you're thinking about relocating to Western North Carolina, whether you're retiring, you're just starting fresh, or you're chasing that mountain kind of dream, fall is the moment. The data says it, the market says it, and honestly, after years of helping people find their forever homes, kind of noticed that too.
So here's what to do. Drop us a comment below, or you can head to our website. You can reach out via text message, and we can talk about what's possible for you when you relocate to this area. We'd love to help you make the move and become part of this incredible community.
And hey, if you're lucky, maybe your closing will be on Halloween too, and you can decide to dress up or not. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you can catch all our local market updates and home buying tips. And we hope to see you in the mountains soon.